everybody, my name's Liz and I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you are a subscriber. So today's video is going to be me sharing what I got sewn up in July. So July was sort of a busy month for me. It was the end of term. I did have quite a lot of plans which I shared, and I'll link the video down below. I shared it in my June plans. At that point I had sewn up quite a few things. I have got my list in front of me and I got 9 things sewn up this month and 1 work in progress. I did a couple of hacks, but I also thought really carefully about things that I wanted to get sewn up in my wardrobe and gaps that I might have had. And when I share my August makes, that is very much a focus for me, thinking ahead actually to the autumn term and sort of garments that I want to have for when I go back to work in September. Before I start sharing what I made, I'll talk about what I'm wearing, which is actually something that I got finished in this month, in July. So it is the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo, and if you watched my latest video, I shared all of the Tilly and the Buttons Indigos that I have got sewn up. This one is in this beautiful yellow gingham fabric from Stitchy Bee Fabrics, and I'll link her website down below because she's got some gorgeous fabrics on there. And I did the extension pack version with the ruffle at the bottom. It has got pockets, and then it's got the button down back detail. Now I've used this gorgeous Wim buttons, I don't know if you can see them, but they're really pretty Wim buttons that I got in a Sew Hilly Jane sewing box. So if you don't know the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo, I have got the pattern for you here. I go into a lot more detail in my latest video where I share the Indigo, but it's this lovely loose fitting smock type dress, and you can either do the top type version or you can do the longer version here. You can do bracelet length sleeves or you can do short sleeves with a flounce. But then there's the extension pack where you can do the shorter version sleeves, or you can add this midi length skirt with a ruffle at the bottom. So that's the version that I've done in this, but I've opted to keep the shorter sleeves because I just prefer the shorter sleeves. The fabric recommendations for the Indigo are a medium to lightweight woven fabric which has got some drape. Now this is a cotton gingham. You can see it is quite structured. It's not got a huge amount of movement in it. You know, it's not super drapey, but it's really breathable and it's just the perfect fabric for a summer dress. So I absolutely love this version. I made up a size 2 for Tilly's size range, and the Indigo pattern comes in sizes 1 up to 10, which is Tilly and the Pattern size range, but that's a UK 6 up to a UK 24, so I did an 8. My bust is a 34-inch bust, which puts me in a 3, but actually I find, because it's quite roomy anyway, like that, I think it fits me perfectly fine, because the rest of my measurements come up with a size 2, and I just didn't want it to be really roomy and sort of drown me almost, but I think this shape suits me and fits me really well. So that is one of the makes that I got done. Oh, actually I said 9, but it's 10 because I made 2 Indigo dresses. So the second one that I'm going to talk to you, or the second and third, because they're both quite similar, is a mashup of the Tilly and the Buttons Alexa jumpsuit with the Wilder gown skirt. So I took the bodice of the Alexa jumpsuit, which I'll share with you now what it looks like, because I really like the bodice shape of the jumpsuit. I'll just share it with you. So this is the Tilly and the Buttons Alexa jumpsuit. It's got this lovely deep, well I say deep, it's not actually super deep, but a V neckline, and then it's got buttons down the front, and then it's got this channel, this sort of casing that you stitch onto your jumpsuit when it's been almost finished constructing it. You stitch it in when you've got the trousers and the bodice done and you want to attach them. So you stitch the channel in and then fold it up onto your fabric and then stitch you do top stitching around it to keep it in place. Anyway, I didn't want to do the full-on jumpsuit. I wanted to see if I could hack it to add a skirt on so it's easier when I'm going to the loo, and I guess just a bit freer and a bit floatier. So I took the bodice part, so this half, I didn't use the pockets, so I guess I should show you this half actually. I did this half, so the bodice top, and then I don't have the Wilder gown instructions in front of me, but I'll insert a line drawing of what it looks like. And I just took that lovely panelled skirt from the Wilder gown and added it onto the bodice, and it's just beautiful. It's definitely my new favourite pattern. So there it is with the buttons down the front with the short sleeve. I added waist ties so I can bring it in, and it's got pockets, but it's got that lovely long skirt with the ruffle at the bottom, the deep ruffle from the Wilder gown, and I'll put pictures in of me wearing it because it's quite difficult to hold this up. But I did want to show the buttons that I chose because these are buttons from Felicity Fabrics and they're just beautiful. So I'm really pleased with that. This fabric's from Material Girl Laura. It's a very bright pink. It's not a colour that I would normally have chosen, but I think it works really well for me. And I've already worn this loads. It's perfect for the summer and great for hot weather because it's really breathable. And then I did another hack. I'm just going to grab it because it's hanging up behind me. So it's exactly the same hack. I've used the Alexa bodice, and then I've used the Wilder gown skirt, and it's in this amazing fabric from a So Hailey Jane box. Isn't it just beautiful? Love this fabric. I'm going to stop talking in a minute so you can hear it. It's got this like swish noise that you get from really beautiful drapey fabric. So I'm just going to swish the fabric. So excuse me a moment and just indulge in that lovely noise for me. Can you hear that swish? I love it. And it swishes like that when you wear it. So I've gathered it in. It's got a really full skirt, and then it's got this deep ruffle at the bottom, and then the lovely deep neckline, the V neckline, and then the buttons. And then these buttons again are from Felicity Fabrics, and they're like an embroidered detail button. They're so pretty. Sorry if my voice got really loud then as I got close to the camera. They're really pretty. And then I've just done, you know, I'm telling you the wrong thing. I said that I've added a short sleeve. It's a grown-on sleeve for the Alexa play suit. Sorry about that. So you don't actually have to insert a sleeve. I don't know why I said that. I didn't insert a sleeve. It's a grown-on sleeve. And then I've added ties. Now, I am going to change the ties. And when I shared this on Instagram, I did say that I didn't have enough of this fabric left to add ties, waist ties in the same fabric. So I had this remnant scrap piece left from, I got this fabric from the New Craft House and I used it to make some picture trousers. So you can see it's a different type of fabric. So this is a crepe, and this, I don't know what it was actually. If I find out, I'll list it down below. But it's got this sort of, I don't know if you can see the, how do you describe that? It's kind of got this texture to it, I guess. That's the word I'm looking for. I don't know if you can see that. And the polka dots are a different size to the polka dots that I've got on the dress. So when I shared that, the lovely Hayley from So Hailey Jane sent me a message to say that she had a tiny scrap left of this fabric. So she could send it to me if I would like her to, which is so kind. So thank you, Hayley. So she has sent it to me, and I bought some other fabric from her as well. So she just included it in that parcel. But I just thought, what a lovely, kind gesture to do. So thank you for doing that, Hayley. So I am going to change it because this is a weightier fabric than this, and I don't want it to pull when I'm wearing it. So I am going to change the waist ties. But at the moment, I think it looks, you know, it's okay. And that's one of my favourite makes. I'm just going to hang it back up whilst I get the next make. So then I made, again using a So Hailey Jane fabric, is this amazing pineapple print So Hailey Jane fabric, which when it arrived, I didn't know what to make with it. And it's one of those fabrics that I love, because I love bright, colourful things anyway, but I just didn't have a firm plan. But in one of my fabric haul videos and pattern hauls, I shared that I'd bought the Nielsen Matilda dress, but I hadn't made it up yet. It's got loads of pieces. It's this lovely sort of shirt dress, I guess. It doesn't have, you don't insert sleeves, but it's like a drop shoulder sleeve, and then it's got this beautiful cuff detail, and then these lovely deep pockets that are sewn onto the hip. It's got a yoke. I love this detail on the back. It's got a waistband and then buttons all the way down, and it's also got a lovely collar detail. Sorry, I stopped to sneeze. Hay fever again. So yeah, it's got this lovely collar detail. Now the only downside I found to this pattern is it's not very size inclusive, so it's an extra small to an extra large. Now since this pattern was brought out, Megan Nielsen has released the curve range, where it means that lots of her patterns are very size inclusive, and they range, I think they go up to a size 30. This pattern is yet to be expanded in size range, which is such a shame because it was an absolute dream to sew. The instructions are incredible. They hold your hand every step of the way, and it was an absolute pleasure to sew this. So much so that I've got several more of these lined up because I think it'll be a great pattern for when I go back to work in September. I mean, it's got a collar stand and collar. I've never inserted a collar stand and collar so beautifully first time. Honestly, the instructions are incredible. If you're wary about doing a burrito method for the yoke, again, the instructions are so clear that everything that I sewed on this dress went in first time, like an absolute dream. Love the pockets, and I've chosen to add this Slowly Does It sloth label that I got from Pink Coat Club onto the pocket as a cute little detail. The buttons that I added are from Felicity Fabrics again, and they're these beautiful gold buttons. I just absolutely love them. But I just love everything about this. I cannot speak more highly of the pattern. It came together so nicely, and then these are the pockets. There's quite a lot of top stitching, which I quite enjoyed. I find there's something quite therapeutic about that. But yeah, I love the style of the dress. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love the shape of the skirt as well, and it came together so nicely. So if you are looking for a nice shirt dress that you want to make, I would definitely recommend the Nielsen Matilda shirt dress. It was an absolute dream to sew. It was so lovely. You know, when you just enjoy every step of the sewing process, that's exactly what it was like when I sewed that up. So a really great pattern. The next thing that I've sewn, I mean, these aren't in order, these are just in order of what I've listed in my notebook, are the Jennifer Lauren, I haven't got the line drawings to show you, but I'll insert them, Jennifer Lauren handmade Bastion culottes in this amazing chambray fabric that I got from Material Girl Laura. It's this lovely sort of a mid blue. I really love the colour of them. Plain for once for me, but I think they needed to be plain because then I can pair them with a lot of my brighter tops and t-shirts. And then I must show you the buttons. I used a mixture of buttons from Ethel and Joan, and I'll put a link down to Louise's shop because she sells the most beautiful buttons. I do have a thing for buttons, it seems, but I used these sort of green flecked ones, and then these, I can't remember what these ones are called, but they've got different colours in. There's like pinks and sort of brown colours and yellow. But the one thing that I absolutely love about the Bastion culottes is this shaping that you get. So they're high-waisted, then the pocket detail, they're really deep, and I love the button detail that you get along the pocket. That's how you get them on and off. So you undo this button, you undo all of these buttons, and that's how you get them on and off, and it's such an interesting detail for a pattern. So yeah, really lovely construction as well, really hold your hand and guide you through the process. They were a really enjoyable sew, and I've definitely got a few more pairs of those lined up. And again, I'll insert pictures of me wearing these. I did two different looks, one with a t-shirt tucked in and then one with my I Am Joy top for like more of a blousey look on top. But yeah, they're absolutely beautiful, and they came together really nicely. They're very, very wide-legged, so they do take up a lot of fabric, but it's definitely worth it because it gives this beautiful silhouette, which you'll see when I've put pictures in. Right, my notebook. Next thing that I have sewn up is, this is a new pattern released by Selkie Patterns, and it's called the Rossetti dress. So it's a blouse, midi dress and maxi dress. These are all the different versions that you can get. So you've got this top with the peplum, then you've got this shorter version. You can do a shorter version with a ruffle, and then you can do the maxi version with the slit up the side, and you can also put a ruffle across the middle because there's an elastic that you sew into the inside of the dress, and that brings it in at the waist. So there's an option to insert or stitch a ruffle there as well. You can also have a ruffle going around the neckline and all the way down here, and you can also insert ruffles into the raglan sleeve here. So yeah, it's got a raglan sleeve. They suggest drapey fabrics, and it is a very fabric hungry pattern. So to do the maxi, I think you need over 5 meters of fabric. So I used this beautiful, again, green fabrics I just absolutely adore. It's definitely my favourite colour. Fabric from Oh So Shop. They're over on Instagram, and again I'll link them down below. I don't know if they've got any more of this left, but I just love it. It's this beautiful floral fabric. Look how it moves so beautifully. It's so floaty. I love the colours in it. So you've got these purples and reds and flowers of different sizes, and then these white flowers, and then it's got this lovely green background. So I chose to do the maxi version, and I also chose to insert the raglan to the sleeve here. The raglan. It's a raglan sleeve. I chose to insert the ruffle to the raglan sleeve here, which is a really lovely feature of the pattern. It's got this lovely yoke detail at the back. You finish the neckline with bias binding, which I think gives a really lovely finish. So on the inside you've got this narrow elastic which you stitch in at the waist, and then it brings the dress in and just sits on your natural waist, which is, sorry, I'm trying to hang it back up, a really lovely detail. So it brings it in, and then that's where you can add the ruffle along here if you wanted to. Now, I've left a review on the fold line of this, and I will leave a link down below because you can get it from the fold line. It's an absolutely beautiful pattern. It's sewed up really well. I really love it. Just going to hang it back up. I cheated when I made mine, but I don't think you can tell. I didn't want to dive straight in and use a fabric which I'd bought lots and lots of, and obviously spent a lot of money, because you do need over 5 meters to make the maxi version. So I'm just going to hold it up again just so you can see the skirt. Instead of cutting the skirt like they suggest, I bought the PDF and I stuck all the pieces together myself. So I folded my skirt pattern piece in half, and then I cut it twice on the fold. So I cut it obviously once on the fold, and then relayed the skirt pattern. I think I got this out of 3 meters, either 2.5 meters or 3 meters, because the bodice part, because it's a raglan sleeve, it actually doesn't need a huge amount of fabric for the bodice part. It's just the skirt that makes it really fabric hungry, and also the skirt's meant to be cut on the bias. I didn't do that, but actually I still think it hangs beautifully, and it's still got that lovely movement and that drape that you want. So I folded my pattern piece for the skirt, and I cut it on the fold, and then I cut it on the fold again, and that's how I chose to construct my skirt. I still left it for about a week before I hemmed it, because you do need because of the fabric, you do want to wait for the fabric to drop and settle, and then I measured it. It took me forever, and then I hemmed it. So I would still recommend doing that if you choose to make the pattern the way that I did. So I have reviewed this pattern on the fold line, and I've given them 4 out of 5 stars. And the reason I've done that is not because I don't think it's a brilliant pattern. It is absolutely 100% a fantastic pattern, but they've rated it 2 out of 4, which makes me think it's for an advanced beginner. But when you look at the instructions, some of the pictures that they've chosen, or all of the pictures they've chosen to use, they've used this black floral fabric, which at times makes it really difficult to see what they're talking about. And I don't know whether I've just been spoilt by Tilly and the buttons with her patterns, because the instructions are so clear and the pictures are so clear, but even here it's very difficult to tell wrong side from right side. And I don't know, some parts it's really difficult to tell what you're supposed to be doing if you don't have that knowledge already. Now, I'm quite a confident sewer, but the section where you join the raglan panel here with your bodice that overlaps was a bit confusing. It was difficult to tell which way round I had to have that pattern piece. So I just found that bit a little bit clunky. I guess it could have been clearer. And I'm going to email the ladies and just say that's why I've given them 4 out of 5. I still absolutely love the pattern, but I just think the pictures that they've chosen could be a little bit clearer. Yeah, I'm trying to find another example. Like, all of the pictures are they're very dark. It's very difficult to tell with the stitching. But I do still absolutely love the pattern. And I'll definitely make some more. And actually, I still think cutting the skirt the way that I did and not on the bias still gives a really lovely silhouette. So I think I'll continue to do that, unless I find a fabric that I think absolutely 100%. I can buy 5 or 6 meters of and make a beautiful dress. So the next thing that I've made is another indigo, and it's made in this gorgeous green viscose from Material Galore, and this is probably my favourite dress, my favourite indigo, although I'll probably say that about all of them. And if you've watched my indigo review and roundup of all the different versions, I say it about 6 or 7 different versions. Anyway, I've done the button down back for this version using these beautiful buttons from Felicity Fabrics. I did the short sleeve version, which I really like, and then it's got this lovely swishy skirt with the ruffle at the bottom. This fabric was a dream to sew with. It feels lovely against my skin. It's got gorgeous movement to it, and it's just the perfect summer dress, and I've worn this loads already. I absolutely adore it. So my next outfit, or my next make should I say, is a hack using this pattern, which is the Tilly and the Buttons Sofia jumpsuit, if I can find it for you. So you can make the trousers, or you can make the jumpsuit, or you can make the play suit, and I've made all versions. But anyway, this is the one that I based it on because I really love this bodice. So it's a bodice which is quite a short bodice. It just sits, I think, just under your bust, and it's got this straight neckline and then these thick straps. And I really like that bodice, so I thought I'd take it. So here's the line drawings. I've taken this. Oh, it's got quite a short back as well on the back. So I've used this part of the Sofia jumpsuit. So I used the skirt of the Tilly and the Buttons Indigo here. And I used this as a guide because what I did is I drafted some pattern pieces where I used the length of the skirt, and I might have added an extra inch or 2, and then I just cut it into 4 panels because I wanted a tiered panel effect on the skirt of the dress that I've made. And then I also, with the front bodice of the Sofia playsuit, here it's just cut on the fold. What I decided to do was hack it so that it had a button placket. So I cut it as 2 separate pieces, and then I had to draft my own facing. So here is the finished dress. Straps to create these ties, and I just cut 2 straps from the pattern piece. Did I just cut 2? I cut 2 per strap, if that makes sense. So I cut 4 from using the pattern piece, and then used 2 per shoulder to make these tie straps. And then what I had to do was draft my own facing for this placket at the bottom, down the centre front. So I just drafted a facing and attached that facing to the facing that you have for the bodice for the Sofia playsuit, if that makes any sense. And then I used these gorgeous buttons from Ethel and Joan. They're just so pretty. They're a clear button, but they've got like these little specks in. I don't know if you can see that, pink and yellow specks. And then I added waist ties so I could bring it in because I knew that it would be quite a baggy silhouette. So I did want the option to bring it in. And then I've just done a panelled skirt all the way down, finishing with a ruffle. And I'm really pleased with that hack. I think it's a cute summer dress, and I've worn it a couple of times already. And I'll put pictures in of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like. And this fabric is from Lamazi Fabrics, and it's a viscose and it moves beautifully. It's a lovely soft fabric as well, which is perfect for the summer. So I'm really pleased with that hack. I wasn't quite sure how it was going to work out, but actually I think it's worked out really well. And then, the last 2 things that I've made are, I think, my favourite things that I've ever made. So they're both out of denim. They're both in pastel shades, which is unusual for me. But together, separately and together, actually, I think they go beautifully. So I'm just going to hold them up so you can see. I'm so proud of this make particularly. So I'll start with this one first. So these are the Sew Over It Mia jeans. I've had this pattern for years. I think I must have bought the book like 6 months into my sewing journey, and I've been sewing for 3 years now. So it is from the Work to Weekend, I think it's the Work to Weekend ebook. If it's wrong, I'll flash it across the bottom, but I'm pretty sure it's from the Work to Weekend ebook. But anyway, it's Sew Over It pattern, like I said, and it's the Mia jeans. Here are the line drawings. So they're very straight, up and down, slim fitting jeans, very, very, very simple construction. So you've got the zip fly and it's got a button on the waistband, and then you've got these pockets on the back. No pockets on the front at all. Really lovely construction, and the instructions are really great as well actually. So I've printed this in black and white, so you probably can't see properly, but this is what they look like on Lisa. So very slim fitting, and then yeah, they've got this button, and then they have got the fly, the zip fly detail. And I use this gorgeous pink denim from Like So Amazing, which is just a lovely soft baby pink. And I was so thrilled with these. I have wanted to make jeans for ages and ages, and always been really nervous and put off and didn't really want to start. But I made the denim jacket first, and then the confidence I gained from making the denim jacket, I was like, right, yes, I'm going to give them a go. And I'm so pleased with them. So these are the pockets on the back. There's loads of top stitching, but again, I found that really relaxing. So you've got two pockets. I'm not going to be able to hold them up properly. Two pockets on the back, and then I think my fly, I was going to say I think my fly is open, but it's not. So then you've got the zip fly here, which I'm really pleased with, and then you've got this button detail as well. Now, when I first approached this pattern, I was nervous about doing the zip. I know that a zip fly can be a little bit tricky and a bit fiddly, but Sew Over It have got a sew along on their website, which I'll link down below, and I just watched that. I'm a very visual learner, so I think once I've seen somebody do the construction a couple of times, their videos like no more than 10 minutes long, I watched it a couple of times, and once I'd seen Lisa do the construction of the zip fly, I just gave it a go, obviously taking my time, and it came together beautifully. I'm really thrilled. I've inserted one of Joy's labels, Pink Coat Club DIY outfit of the day, and I just love them. They're really easy to fit as well, I would say. So I made a size 8, and I was worried about the fit because of my hip and waist measurements. Quite often I find that I have to do a sway back adjustment. I didn't have to do any adjustments to this at all. The seam allowance is 2.5 centimetres, so that you can play around with the fit around that area, and the same going all the way down the leg. And I think I ended up using a 1 centimetre seam allowance for all of the side seams when I was stitching it together. But yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with these jeans, and I'll insert pictures of me wearing them so you get to see what they look like. But if you are sort of wanting to try and make yourself a pair of jeans and you're not sure where to start, I would definitely say start with the Mia jeans. They were an absolute pleasure to sew. And like I said, the zip fly tutorial on their website was really helpful. So I really enjoyed making those. And then my final make of the month, which I am so proud of, I'm going to put it on actually. I've just been spending time at home just wearing it. I think I'm driving my husband mad because I'm so proud of it. I've just been walking up and down the house wearing it, and you know, not needing to wear it because it's so warm in our house. But this is the Sorrento jacket, and I'm just going to pick up the picture from the book. So it's from the Sew Over It Summer Dreaming new ebook, and this is Lisa modelling hers. So it's meant to sit at your waist. It's a denim jacket. It's classic. It's got some really lovely features like front and back yoke. It's got the pockets. It's got the cuff detail and buttons there, and then it's also got the tabs on the back, which I'll show you when I stand up. So yeah, it's got this tab detail at the back. Buttons all the way down, so if I fasten it for you, you'll be able to see, and then obviously it's got this lovely collar detail too. I absolutely loved everything about sewing this up. The instructions are written beautifully. Now, I have found previously, I learned to sew using Tilly and the Buttons and Sew Over It, and I have found with some of their most recent patterns, I haven't bought all of them, but some of their patterns, I'd say in the last year or so, the instructions haven't been what they usually are. So I've found that they may be missing some key information or just not as clear as they used to be. But with this, I was a bit nervous about sewing it up because it's an ebook, and I just wondered how much information they'd be able to include in an ebook. But the instructions are brilliant. They hold your hand every step of the way. There wasn't a single bit that I found tricky. No, there was actually. I'm fibbing. The only bit I found tricky was this bit. which is like the cuff opening, because you bind it with some bias binding, and I just found the instructions weren't 100% clear, so I just went on YouTube and I found a really useful tutorial, and I'll see if I can link it down the YouTube channel, but she had a fantastic tutorial on how to bind this bit, because I just found the instructions weren't making any sense, or it was just really fiddly. And the lady who I saw the tutorial for showed me a technique where when you're, because to insert the bias binding on this section, you need to hold it like a straight line. And I was just finding that it was puckering and it wasn't really neat. And obviously, you know, you're putting so much effort into a denim jacket, you want it to be as neat as possible. So I found her tutorial where she showed me that you stitch it to a certain point and then you fold the fabric out of the way and do like almost like a double pleat, but it doesn't stitch a double pleat. I'm not making any sense. Her tutorial makes perfect sense. I will link it down below. But yes, I am thrilled with this denim jacket. So it's got the pockets here, it's got buttons all the way down and the waistband, lovely cuffs with the cuff opening, and then in the cuffs nearly fell over. I've got this lovely pleat detail, and then you've got the same pleat detail in the back, and you've got these tabs. So currently I am working my way through my wardrobe based on what will go with the denim jacket. And I wore, yesterday I went to the park with my daughters and I wore the Mia jeans with my Sorrento jacket, and did I have this dress on? No, I had a my I Am Joy embroidered top on, but I had my yellow jellies on, my yellow jelly shoes, and as I was walking to the park, it just suddenly realised that I was dressed like a flump. And if you don't know what a flump is, I'll insert pictures so you can see what they look like. I shared pictures of this outfit on Instagram today, and somebody commented and said either a flump or I could look like a pack of refreshers because of all the pastel shades. So it was sort of these three colours because I had my yellow jelly shoes on. And again, if you don't know what refreshers are, I'll insert a picture, but it made me chuckle. But yeah, this is definitely my favourite thing that I made and my proudest make. It's just everything about it. I'm proud of the top stitching, I'm proud of the collar, I'm just proud of every single detail. I really enjoyed the process and I really took my time. Yeah, and I'm definitely going to make another. In fact, I'm looking for denim fabric that, or stretch cotton actually would work, in more pastel colours, because I'd love to make quite a few denim jackets. But yeah, definitely my favourite make of July, if not my favourite make ever. So that is everything that I've been getting up to. Actually, let me just show you one more thing. I wanted to share the final thing that I'm working on, and it is the Sew Over It again from their Summer Dreaming ebook, the Ravello dress. And I'm making this version, the maxi version. And I asked in my, was it my July plans video? I asked what fabric I should use, and I shared this fabric so you can see it's all cut up and pieced together and things. I shared some fabric options and this fabric was one of them, and lots of people suggested this one, so this is the fabric that I'm using. So I've got as far as attaching the ties, so I'm up to this bit. So I need to attach the ties, I need to bias bind all of the edging, and then hem it, and then it'll be done. So it's almost finished, but last night I had an IBS flare up, so I just laid in bed watching TV instead. I couldn't sort of motivate myself to sew, so I'm just trying to hold it up so I can show you the construction, well, not the construction, but where I've gotten up to. Yes, so I've attached the bodice to the skirt, and then it'll wrap here, and then it's got the skirt detail at the back. So I think it'll be really beautiful. It's maxi length. If I can stand on my chair and show you, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, it's maxi length, so I think it's going to be a really lovely make to have. But yeah, it'll have to roll over into my August makes. Woo. So yeah, that's what I'm up to at the moment. Let me know as ever what you're working on at the moment, if you've got any pattern recommendations for me, although I need to stop buying patterns because I've got so many that I haven't actually got around to sewing yet. I hope you have a lovely day, lovely week, lovely weekend, whatever you're up to, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you as ever for watching. It's really lovely to have your support, and I'm really enjoying sharing my sewing journey with you. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed already, it'd be really lovely if you could, because then you know when I've got a new video coming out. Take care, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye!